It's shortly before 7:40 a.m. on a Monday in General Santos City. Commuters drive to work, starting their week in a coastal city of 722,000. Then, on this topographic map of Mindanao, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake strikes offshore. When the expanding wave hits the mainland, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology registers a very strong event. General Santos City sits directly in the red impact zone. Down on the streets, the ground shakes violently, sending trees swaying. Commuters swerve erratically to avoid crashing as the asphalt rolls beneath their tires. The shaking quickly overwhelms local architecture. A 3-story commercial building housing a Jollibee restaurant gives way, collapsing into a massive cloud of dust right in front of onlookers. Amid the crumbled concrete and deeply fractured roads, the initial toll becomes clear. At least 32 people are killed and over 100 are injured. The initial loss of life is tragic. But a major earthquake inflicts its secondary damage by destroying the exact human systems designed to keep survivors alive in the aftermath. The primary rupture stops, but the danger continues. Over the next hour, a relentless series of aftershocks rolls through the area, repeatedly testing structures that are already compromised. In downtown General Santos City, that structural stress hits St. Elizabeth Hospital. With the building sustaining severe internal damage, medical staff are forced to evacuate critically vulnerable patients completely out of the wards. Doctors and firefighters scramble to move stretchers onto the pavement, setting up temporary triage centers and treating the injured outside. When a disaster destroys the exact medical facility needed to treat its victims, it creates a fatal bottleneck. The loss of a sterile, functional hospital exponentially increases the danger for everyone injured in the initial collapse. News of the disaster quickly reaches the federal government and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in Manila. The federal response mobilizes immediately. The Office of Civil Defense and the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council are activated to organize logistics and distribute relief supplies. This response faces a severe logistical complication. The earthquake struck on the very first day of the school year. Prioritizing safety, President Marcos orders the immediate and indefinite closure of all schools across the affected regions. That single order displaces 3.2 million students and 128,000 teachers. A localized physical collapse cascades into a widespread civic paralysis, freezing the educational and economic momentum of a massive demographic chunk of the country. This macro-level map of the Asian-Pacific Rim shows what happens next. A 7.8 magnitude offshore quake fractures the seafloor and physically displaces a massive volume of the ocean. That violent displacement of water triggers cascading tsunami alerts across multiple Asian nations. In neighboring Indonesia and along the wider coastlines of the Philippines, the warnings spark panic and immediate emergency evacuations. Authorities eventually cancel the most severe warnings for Indonesia and the Philippines. However, the broader hemispheric threat remains active. Thousands of miles away, an active tsunami advisory lingers over Japan's southern coast. Residents there are ordered to stay away from river mouths and coastlines until further notice. A single tectonic rupture off the coast of Mindanao on a Monday morning holds enough power to destroy a city, freeze a nation's civic infrastructure, and put an entire hemisphere on high alert.